I'm at the airport right now, and you may not be able to see. I'm going to catch a quick flight today, and I should be back the same day. Anyways, I woke up this morning and I was getting dressed, and I thought of something. I was examining myself. I was examining who I am, how my character is, who I am as a person, the decisions I'm making, and I was examining even my train of thought, how I think on a daily basis. And memories started to flow in my head of how I was as a child. Memories started to flow and come in of occurrences I've had as a child and how I handled different situations, or just the characteristics that I had as a child are literally developed into who I am today. You know, one example is gentleness. I like to say it, gentleness. When I was a child, in my youth, I was always filled with the character of being gentle. And I demonstrated it to my parents, my father, my mother, and my family, such as my aunts, my cousins, my nieces, whatsoever. I always demonstrated that. I never had a rage. You know, I never really just had such an anger where I had anger issues or anything like that. This is just me. And I like to reflect on these things because it's very important to know and remember how you were as a child. It's very important to remember this. If those things were good, such as me, I was filled with gentleness, and sometimes I often think, like, how was I molded that way? How was I made that way? Because it's my father and my mother characteristics, they really differed away from gentleness. But then again, I was in an environment with my grandparents, and my grandmother is filled with it. She's filled with having such a gentle spirit and kindness. And, you know, every time I go back to France, my grandparents, they often say, you know, David, you were always with your mother. You never wanted to leave your mother's side. Whenever she would drop you guys off, you always would cry because your mother would be gone, whatever she had to do. And I mean, there's a lot to that story, but in summary, you know, I think about it and I'm like, oh wow, you know, this is the way that I treat my mother today. I do the best of my ability to be so kind and so gentle to my mother, who's a woman, and that was just me. I look at that and I'm like, that's just me. That I was born and shaped and fashioned in that manner. It's not so much where I was taught on how to do it,